From Psalm 91, verses 1 and 2. He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him I will trust. This is Douglas Allen Frazier with By My Spirit Radio, continuing with the episodes I call All You Desire. You should desire to dwell in the secret place of the Most High God, a place that He has set aside for you and me. You know, God says that I want to be your helper. And He is there at all times so that we can trust and know that He is leading us. He is leading us and desires for us to take our refuge, to be with Him, to trust Him in everything that we do. We can step out with firm confidence in the Lord into the unknown of each day. Now, we might have plans that we've set aside, or we know that we're going to be going to work, and we've got things we've got to do at work. We've got things that we've got to do in our home. We've got things perhaps we need to do with our children. We know that those things might be facing us, but even so, there are things that are unknown. Like the Lord spoke to me years ago now in India, expect the unexpected. But we can step out in confidence, knowing that in every portion of the day, even those times when we're interrupted from doing the things, we're called aside from doing the tasks that we thought we needed to get done, but we get some sort of a call, or sometimes we get an extra tasking that is placed upon us. You know, when I was in the Air Force, I was counseled this way: progress and promotion will take place because people will notice you when you are willing to take on the extra task, to take on the extra duty. I know when there was one time that an assignment came up. It was a short assignment to go to Saudi Arabia. And somebody asked, and it was voluntary. And somebody asked me, said, why would you do that? And the first thing I said was this: have you ever been to Saudi Arabia? And the only way you get to go is if you're invited by the king. And this was an invitation, basically, to the military to go. The second thing I said was, by taking on this extra assignment, it will look good for my promotion. It will be something that will highlight me above somebody else that didn't volunteer. Result, I was promoted. But you know, we are called also to be servants of God. Jesus said to His disciples that the greatest of these is going to be a servant, because that's what He came to do. When you read some of the letters written by Paul, he talks about how he became an obedient servant. So should we be doing any less? This is something that we should desire, to be noted as a servant of God. We should be a servant that is simply this: cheerful and ready to serve. Cheerful and ready to serve. Now, I know that I enjoy somebody serving me when I go to a restaurant, for example. When I go to a restaurant and I sit down, I make an order, we have a server. And the best servers are the ones that will go out of their way to make sure that everything is the way it should be, the order is perfect, and come back and say, do you need something else to drink or whatever. But they go out of their way. Now, of course, I believe they're also trained, but you can be trained how to be the best, but then not follow through. So I'm saying to you, we want to be a servant, because God's desire for you and me is to bless you, to bless me as we serve Him, but as we serve others. Jesus said, those who are willing to give a cup of water, I'm going to recognize you. Well, sometimes that giving that cup of water is not directly to Jesus, but it's a cup of water. It's some form of a kindness, of going out of your way for somebody else. It might be somebody just on the street, a street person. I know Diane and I met a man. You could tell that he was basically a street person. And instead of giving him money, we went into our favorite place, Whataburger, and we bought him a full meal. In fact, he had come into this Whataburger, I guess, quite often, and the people there knew him, and they knew a little bit about his story. And they were willing to go an extra mile and serve him and some of his needs, at least his physical need of food. And I see him sometimes as I'm driving by, I'll see him going down the street, pulling a wagon with all of his earthly goods right there. So we need to be the type of people that are willing to serve. That should be a part of our desire. Jesus said this in John 14:26. But the Comforter, the Holy Spirit, He shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. The Holy Spirit also our guide and will give us the direction that we need to be going in as we desire to serve. So I would say to you today, make this a form of a prayer. Lord, let me never grow tired, so that I may serve you in each task or request set before me. Let me recognize your call to serve you each day, so that I will hear you say, well done, good and faithful servant. So I leave you with this thought. Make it your desire to be that good and faithful servant. This is Douglas Allen Frazier closing out today's episode of By My Spirit. We'll see you soon. Keep listening, keep sharing, because God has great plans for you.